Manchester is blue, and the world's best number 9s both score hat-tricks.
Evening, Tate.
Good evening, Jack. You all right?
Yes, how are you?
Yeah, very well. Lovely weekend.
Yep, good as always.
Lovely weekend.
Both our sides won.
Yeah,
so
3 points each.
Yeah, quite a happy bunker today.
Yeah, 3 points each. Payday as well. So, well, payday last week, so I've been broke all week. So, no, all round a lovely weekend. Shame about the clocks going back and it is pitch black outside the bunker.
Dark. It's so dark right now.
But no, apart from that, a lovely weekend. And like you said, we both got 3 points. And my teaser is a little bit about that, of course. We couldn't go a podcast without mentioning the main man. But Eddie Nketiah scored the 374th Premier League hat-trick on Saturday versus Sheffield United. But who scored the first?
Yep. Good question. Absolutely no idea. We'll come back to that.
So the outline of the show today will be talking about Manchester United, Manchester City game, a bit on the game, our thoughts on that, and thoughts of where both clubs are heading, directions and players and all sorts. Then turning the table on its head and talking relegation zone. So we might touch a bit on the West Ham Everton game, the Bournemouth Burnley, but mainly about the teams right now in the bottom 6, 7. Who's now it's 10 games in. Who's looking likely to be in a relegation dogfight? Mm-hmm. It's a dogfight out there. Relegation dogfight down there. So yeah, and then we'll end on the usual team of the week and all that other good stuff. But let's start Sunday, Super Sunday, randomly on a 3:30. 3:30. I didn't like that.
Yeah, we talking about it, but yeah, the clocks went back, but you can still have it at normal time.
So apparently it was to do with the Manchester police,
right?
Because they've been having other stuff on during that week, and then the Derby day they didn't want it at 4:30 because an hour less of beer drinking was going to make all the difference.
Yeah.
Like,
but, I don't know.
Yeah.
It was a bit odd.
But that was why. But as you all know, Manchester City cruised past United with really embarrassing ease, to be honest. To emphasise the gulf between the two sides and two clubs as they stand. I don't think many people really gave United a chance pre-game.
What was it last year? 6-3 won it last year, but
that was that.
Trafford,
No, that was that.
Yeah.
They beat them, didn't they, with that awful offside goal.
Yeah. But that's what people were saying, because they were saying, "Oh, United do all right recently against City, all the rest of it." But yeah, it started off. It was fairly even, and United were sort of defending and trying to counter. It was not working, but it was a much closer game, and then the second half began. It was just like you said, it got embarrassing, really, didn't it?
Yes, like you just touched on, they started off quite well. They ran hard, matched them for energy here and there. They didn't really create many chances. I think Rashford had a couple of glimpses on the left-hand side, but they could have done better. McTominay had that half chance where maybe he could have flicked through Højlund. But it looked hard work. And obviously, Manchester City are an extremely, extremely good team. They're not going to be easy to play against. So, but you could sense that City was slowly growing into the game. They're putting some passes together. Interestingly, in the two lineups, just on paper, you see Maguire and Evans, Dalot, Lindelof.
You could tell straight away from the two lineups, it was just like basically what we were in store for. United side, Maguire, Evans, Lindelof left back. The midfield three is a disgrace. If it's a 4, whatever they're trying to do is a disgrace. I said it weeks ago, but stand by it. Their midfield is a huge, huge part of their issue and problems. And City just strong as ever, weren't they? And again, Bernardo Silva playing in different positions, and they're a brilliant side. They are a brilliant team.
I think Pep picked all these. It might sound silly, but he's footballers in terms of he's ball holders. Like you had Grealish there, Foden, Bernardo Silva, Alvarez. That's in behind Haaland. They're all going to keep the ball, ping it around, move Man United around, dictate the play, and just toy with them basically. Instead of playing players like Doku or who were just like direct wingers, that they played more possession way, and that's how the game ended in the second half.
And like I said, the first half United were better than the second half, but City still dominated the ball, and then they realised second half how easier it was, and it just made them look silly, really.
But the game all changed on the 24th minute, around that mark, where City had a free kick, floated into the box. Rodri pulled down by Højlund. Nothing doing at the time. Interestingly, this week, have you watched other games on the TV?
Yeah, I watched a few. Yeah.
Did you watch the 12th or whatever?
Chelsea and all that.
I don't know whether it's a narrative they're pushing or the VAR have got better or whatever. Literally, as soon as something happens, the commentators then relay all VAR check going on.
Yeah.
Or VAR check, and it's
There's
done. It's gone really quickly because as soon as that was happened, they had it in their ear. Something's gone on here.
Yeah, because that's probably a change that maybe the TV or the refs have spoke with the media or whatever. But yeah, you're right, because beforehand it was they wouldn't say anything, and after the incident they might go, oh, and don't forget we as the commentators always hear the conversations between the refs and the VAR. But now, like you said, it's okay. Yeah, they're talking right now, and they don't obviously say word for word, but they relay tiny bits of information, don't they? Yeah, I haven't noticed that until you said, really. Because
I noticed it this weekend. I was like, when I had the stream on the Arsenal game, there was about 6 VAR calls in that game. But the game then stopped. It was Tierney, wasn't it? Tierney, that clown.
It was Michael Oliver, I think.
Stopped the game. Yeah. You look at it and you think, he's going to give that. Yeah. And Neville, I'm sort of in his camp with this one. You look at it and it's your team and you know he shouldn't do it. But you see them week in, week out.
I agree,
and that's the consistency we've always asked for. It is a foul, and if it's one of the against you, like, he's clearly pulled your shirt. But the same thing happened last week. It will happen. The same penalty will not be given
definitely
next weekend.
Not even the foul. That will happen when the ball's from a goal kick or a defender's launched it long, or a long free kick, and then they're not even in the box. But yeah, exactly that. Yeah, that happens every week. It would have happened over the weekend, and it's never given. I do agree it was a penalty. It is a foul, but they need to start doing that, because then it will stop. That needs to happen next weekend, the following weeks. Every game, if it happens, it needs to be looked at, but it just won't be. It won't. Because
you think, as a fan, you think if it's against your team, you think that is so soft. But letter of the law. I know he's not getting the ball, but it's a foul. But it's one of them ones you want, like you just touched on. It needs to be clamped down. So we know this is a penalty, not next week when you see it pulled. Yeah. Oh, he wasn't getting the ball, so it's not a penalty. You've heard them every Monday, and the show I despise is on Monday mornings with Dermot, Sue, and Stephen Warnock, and it's called Ref Watch, isn't it? And they just
agree with each other.
They agree with each other, and he sits on the fence and never says anything bad against the refs. So it's like, oh, he's probably lucky to get white with that one. Well, no, the ref made a mistake. Then say it.
That's the word they will use, and that's Howard Webb, or when Mike Dean has started doing Soccer Saturday style. Yeah, he was lucky to not, and even pundits do. They are lucky to not see a red or a foul.
Call them out on it.
Foul, yeah, another yellow. Just say how you see it.
And after you watched a couple of times, Tierney pointing to the spot. Yeah, Haaland gets the ball.
Yeah, that when they go to the screen, you know it's 99% going to change the decision or penalty or foul, whatever. So. But yeah, right decision. But again, like me and Tate are saying, it needs to happen. Like the Carling Cup, the League Cup, that's happening Tuesday, Wednesday. That will happen in those games. Yeah, and it needs to be. If that's what's happening at the weekend, that needs to carry on. But yeah, I highly doubt it.
Just jumping way forward from the penalty, but did you see Haaland's post-match interview?
I didn't. Really
and he said, because I noticed after he scored, his celebration was like gave it some, and the presenter asked him what was that about, and he goes, they were all chanting Keno at me.
Really?
Yeah.
No, it was good.
And he said he wanted to give some back, so
obviously a good.
You could tell he let out like a roar of have that.
And he obviously been built up, and I mean, I think our photo is for this episode is his celebration from that, and it's a almost iconic photo.
Yeah.
Some of the supporters and the guy in the white t-shirt, I think, will go down in the Hall of Fame as well.
Yeah, we do urge you to zoom in on the podcast picture this week. And
but if you it's one of those, you look at each corner of the picture and you notice someone different doing something. Yeah, it's very funny.
Yeah, everyone is angry, throwing someone's trying to look like he's throwing a coin at someone.
The guy in the white t-shirt has definitely launched a little coin.
That is, he has really riled them up there, which is fantastic to see. And still in the first half, just before half-time, actually, it was United's goalkeeper, Andre Onana, produced a brilliant save to deny Haaland a second. It was one of them Neville when he came across.
It's good save,
I think it was
very good
Bernardo
save.
Silva's cross, and literally his header came across.
Yeah.
And no, you thought 2-0 here,
Yeah.
bang! But what a save!
Yeah,
And to keep him in it.
Yeah, he obviously headed it towards goalie, and that's why he saved it. But yeah, brilliant save. And Onana throughout the game really made some. He was a bit unorthodox. I think he's a bit unorthodox. Made some strange old saves, but made some very good ones as well, and almost saved them from probably a bigger defeat.
Just wanted to make a note on or mention Edison for that excellent save he
it's
made
very
from
good.
McTominay.
Good
It's still at
strike.
1-0,
Mm.
which could have made a difference going into half time. But great save from a keeper, and that's what you want from your top George keepers. You don't have to do much all game to then come out when you need them. And it was a
brilliant.
fantastic
Good
save.
strike from McTominay, and a very good save. Like you said, he hadn't really done much the whole half, and suddenly pulls it out. No, kept it 1-0, and then. But like I said, Man United at least look competitive. They understand they're way off Man City, but for 45 minutes it was a slight contest, but
Slightly controversially at half time. So Neville said it at half time, and then he got some stick in the post match room in Sky. So the substitution was Amrabat off, who'd already been booked for your mate, Money Mace.
Money Mace.
And he
What's
said,
that, shout of the season probably? Has to be. You've got to be up there.
and he said that he wanted a more attacking approach,
Yeah.
and he was so rattled in that post match. I felt a bit awkward because I wasn't sure.
Who's that? Sorry, Neville.
Ten Hag.
Oh, Ten Hag. Right.
I wasn't sure it was because he was English, and he wasn't. He's not obviously English isn't his first language, and he was struggling to find words he wanted. But he did not look
Weren't happy
at all calm
No.
or composed, and I think he looked a bit rattled by the interviewer's questions
Mm.
because he was asking. I wouldn't say they're difficult questions, but they're probing. And you know what he's after. He's after.
He wants.
He wants
big
the
answer,
mission of basically. He wants a headline. That's what he
Yeah,
wants,
yeah,
and he wants a
of course.
headline. He was a bit defensive about it, and things about saying, well, "Do you regret bringing on Mount? Do you regret?" Because as soon as they did that, they lost all control of the game, and like you touched on, the midfield was a disgrace. I mean, you had Mount, Fernandes, and Eriksen in there. How are you going to get the ball back?
No, and the second half it showed more, and it's a better example. But they went 2-0 down early, didn't they? Haaland again. But from that moment, the midfield was just all over the place, absolutely all over the place. And those sort of players, Fernandes, Eriksen, Mount coming on and just running around like a headless chicken. They're just not players you need in that scenario. And United had a similar reaction when they got beat at home to Brighton, and it was a pretty much identical carbon copy yesterday. They just they're 2-0 down. They throw the toys out of the pram, and they totally give up. There's no pride. Bear in mind you're playing for Manchester United, historically one of the biggest clubs. I always say it, but you've got to show some pride. You need 11. I know you don't want 11, but you need 11 Scott McTominays, or even dare I say it, Harry Maguire's, that are just gonna knuckle down and all right, we're getting battered here, but we're gonna play for a bit of pride and a bit of self-preservation. But they were poor, very very poor.
And City doubled their lead 4 minutes into the second half, which is basically an identical situation that I just explained earlier about the Haaland. And it was Bernardo Silva's cross right to the back post. Everyone was marked except the main man, Erling Haaland, stooping header.
The best striker in the world. Let's leave him back post.
Heads it back and then celebrates right in front of the Man City faithful. 2-0 up, 49 minutes gone. Game well and truly over.
I keep saying it, but I looked up at about 55 minutes and it felt like it was 91st. It was just City were just essentially a training session and just passing it around, 1 or 2 touch. Olays from the crowd singing all sorts of songs towards Man United, and it was ridiculous. It was so easy for them.
Yeah, like you just touched on the songs there. There was one specific song going round about Old Trafford falling down that has been in my head all day.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. Been doing the rounds. I saw online because everyone has either quoted it or retweeted it or whatever. It's got over 3 million views.
Right, yeah. That is, it's a good song.
Yeah.
Very good song.
City, like you said, pinged the ball around for just toyed with them. They were like, what's the expression? Like a cat playing with their food, isn't it? Or a mouse playing with whatever the expression is.
Basically a lion messing around with its prey, isn't he? So.
And then Rodri, this is the third goal for me, is just diabolical. Watch Rodri is fantastic. One of the best players, if not the best player in the Premier League, I think, for me. He's just absolutely out of this world. One thing he's not is a slaloming, running, dribbling midfielder. But he waltzes
wide
past Christian Eriksen, and watch Eriksen just
He's a disgrace.
he waltzes past him, and then has the audacity to shoot with his left foot. Gets a shot away. Onana parries it into Haaland, squares it across. Foden runs between the two centre halves. 3-0.
Did you hear the commentary? I don't know if you saw that clip of Drury. Have you heard what he said?
Yeah, he said. What did he say?
He was like, Rodri's clarted it.
Yeah, that was it.
Brilliant. Yeah, but just summed them up. They're just so simple. And yeah, Eriksen. I'm not a big fan of Eriksen's, but even more so now in his sort of later years, and just shouldn't be. He should not be centre midfield for Manchester United. There's no way. And Fernandes, the less I speak of him, the better.
And after that goal went in, the sight of thousands of empty seats all around Old Trafford in the closing stages told of a tale of a truly miserable and quite a testing day and like a sobering day for Man United.
Yeah,
where it all sort of
miles off it.
comes full circle, really. Because I think I've been chatting to Ben a lot this week, who's a big Man United fan. He's been very nervous for this game because he's thinking we can't afford a smacking here. Because
and it was.
We know that everyone knows the golf, but until you see it in person for the first time, you think, they showed nothing. They really did.
Not at all.
I do have a little bit of sympathy for them when they had injuries. Casemiro, Martinez, and Varane could have made a difference. Luke Shaw, they're 4 starters in their team.
I think the back four, that's very weak. Lindelof at left back with obviously Evans and Maguire is very weak. Is very, very weak. But the midfield, yes, Casemiro could be in there, but Eriksen would still play. Fernandes would still have to play. Yeah.
But what we have mentioned numerous times, and we'll continue to mention it, when the chips are down for Manchester United, name me a worst bunch of players you want fighting for your cause. Like you said, I think you said it. When did you play Spurs? When did you play Man United? Second game?
Second or third game of the season,
Fernandes, whinging, moaning. Anthony, disgrace.
Yeah.
What is that? I'm not going to call it a tackle.
No, it just had to be a red card as well. It was awful.
How is that not being a red card?
But even the swipe is a yellow card. Then the reaction after. Then he later on was like in Doku's face. Don't know what was said or done, but there was 3 or 4 occasions when he was on for less than 10 minutes. He could have been straight red.
Like, if you think what players get sent off for,
yeah.
And just top of my head, I'm an Arsenal fan, so it comes to me. Do you remember Tomiyasu's yellow card for a little bit of time wasting, yellow card for tickling someone's back?
Yeah.
But now you can have a swipe at someone's leg, shove people around.
Probably swear and call him all sorts, in Portuguese. But no, they're the worst. They're the worst sort of players. Fernandes, Anthony, Eriksen, even Rashford at the minute is just want them so far from your team.
I don't know if you've seen this stat doing the rounds, that Manchester United have now lost as many Premier League home games since Ferguson retired than he did in his whole 26-year career.
Wow. But that's awful.
So he retired in 2013, May 2013. So in the 10 and a half years, they've lost as many home games than they have in his 26-year reign, which is speaks volumes of of how far they've fallen. And interestingly enough, that was they kept saying it was Pep's 20th game, 20th derby, and only against Arsenal has he won more away games against a single opponent in his managerial career. 7 times at Old Trafford.
Yeah, they've won. City have won 6 of their last 8 derbies in all competitions as well. And Pep said, for so long we have seen Sir Alex at the top, we have changed the tendency. And
or even before the game, and in the week, he said something to rile them up and said, "We look at Liverpool now as our main rivals."
They probably would. And in the immediate, recent times, probably Arsenal, Liverpool, much more of a rival and a contest than Man United have been.
So, question for you: Ten Hag, is he walking the plank? Is he tiltering?
I don't know. I probably don't know enough about Man United, but from not saying you can't, because it obviously does happen, but from last season it seemed like he'd improved them. They weren't brilliant, but there was a definite improvement. And this year suddenly they've fell off. They've just totally fell off.
I think we've said it before. Last year you had Arsenal and City and the rest. Remember they get whacked 7 Liverpool.
Yeah, true.
6-3
and maybe because
4-0 at Brentford.
And maybe because of Tottenham weren't so good. Liverpool had a bit of up and down season. Chelsea obviously nowhere near it. Maybe the fact that those sort of sides weren't, and then this year is different. Tottenham have turned it round. Arsenal obviously still good. City are very good.
Liverpool are
have
good.
suddenly, are very good again. So
Villa
and even Newcastle are a solid side. Villa are good again. Brighton are good again. Yeah,
I don't know. It's just something about the narrative that is about Ten Hag at the moment, which is doing the rounds, is what's their playing style? What are they doing? Like De Zerbi's come in since all these managers have come in since he's come. De Zerbi, Ange, Emery, three managers that have come in to different teams and put their style on their teams. What do United do? Did they play it from the back? Did they play counter-attacking football? They seem to play this underdog football, which is not sustainable if you're a Manchester United manager.
No, not at all.
Of Old Trafford, you take the ball and we put you in the counter-attack with Rashford, Garnacho, whoever on the wings, and play like that. But you can't do that. You need to be dictating the ball and showing you're the biggest club in England.
Yeah, and I didn't know anything about. I don't really know much about Ten Hag, but before he come, I was under the impression that he played that sort of style of football and attacking and free-flowing football, and maybe because of the players he's got. But then again, they've spent how much for? Is it 400 million or I made
400 million, yeah.
So, and he's bought. His signings are
right.
I've
got them
please. The signings they've made, wow.
Signings, right. We'll start from most expensive down to the bottom. I forgot I've got this. Anthony, £85 million. Rasmus Højlund, 72 million. Casemiro, 70. Mason Mount, 60. Martinez, 56. Onana, 47. Malacia, 14. Then they got a reserve goalkeeper. And then free was Eriksson and Evans. On loan, Reguilon, Amrabat, Weghorst, and Marcel Sabitzer.
I'd say apart from Højlund, because I do think he looks like quite.
He's young and he's played 10 games. Yeah,
yes, you sort of ignore that one. Casemiro is obviously a world-class player, regardless of how he's doing at United at the minute. Onana again is a bit up and down. I don't know. I can't say about him, but the rest, my God.
But the Casemiro one is one of them examples which Carragher has gone very hard on. £70 million for him. They're paying, God knows what they're paying him each week. Probably 350, 400 grand a week. Last summer, could they have got Casado for that? Probably. Could they have won and got tempted Declan Rice for 30 odd million more? Like,
yeah.
It's
the players they've got, and he's bought players that he knows, and
from leagues that are,
like Weghorst and Anthony, and
the Anthony one for me is like there's every team has got wingers that have. Most teams in the top half has got a winger that they've bought for far too much money. Arsenal had Pepe, Chelsea have got a whole catalogue of them. They've even got a striker out on his second year on the trot, out on loan in Lukaku.
Is he obviously very easy?
But what's Anthony good at? He's not quick.
It's very easy to say right now, and it's obviously a bit of hindsight, and he's not doing well. But 85 million on a winger, like that's outrageous. It's not a striker. It's not a centre fielder. It's not a. Yeah, that's a ridiculous amount of money.
On someone, I can happily spend that on a winger who's going to be, but on someone from the Eredivisie who's had like 1.5 good seasons. And if you were to go buy Vinicius Junior, for example, you are spending 150 million pounds.
Yeah.
Like,
but it's probably, I'd say that, I don't know, off the top of my head, maybe 3 wingers, maybe 4 wingers in the world that are even near that and worth that money. The rest. Anthony for 85 is outrageous.
And I want to go through their attacking players. This is horrific. Anthony, Garnacho, Højlund, Martial, Rashford, and but we have never touched on yet, Sancho.
Yeah.
Even that whole situation is just a mess. Between them 6 players, 1 goal, 1 assist.
There's Rashford.
Rashford's got both of them, yeah.
I was going to say, Rashford's got 1 goal in 13 this season.
Okay, that was the one against Arsenal.
Yeah, and obviously the Sancho situation there's all sorts happening there. Even the Greenwood situation, that's the player, that's awful. That's you can't as Ten Hag coming into Man United, you can't predict that. You can't expect that sort of thing to go on. But Anthony, with what's gone on with him and all the saga outside of football, there's scenarios that you don't account for, but my God, it is a big old
mess.
It's a big old mess. Oh yeah,
So
that's a better word.
United, 10 games in, they sit 8th. Their position, it's not great. They've played 10, lost 5, won 5. I'm gonna say it's not disastrous. How many points are off? They're 8 points off Liverpool in 4th. It's doable, but you've got the teams around them. Like you've got West Ham a point below them, Brighton 2 points above them, but they just look like probably the 8th, 9th best team in the league, don't they? They don't look
that mid-table from 8th to 12th. They just look, or don't look. They are just going to be that because they're going to be better and they're going to beat the teams below that position, but they aren't going to compete with the top 8 sides, top 7 teams. So yeah, they lost 5 out of 10 already this season. Most defeats in the first 10 since 86-87 season.
That was a note I had. Their last couple of games, they scraped past Brentford in the 96th and 98, whatever it was. McTominay's 2 goals. Then they
even the Champions League
scraped past Copenhagen with a last-minute penalty save.
Yeah,
and they just edged over the line against Sheffield United 2-1. So the writing was on the wall. They weren't playing well, but they were getting points. However, I will say they do have a nice run of fixtures coming up. Their next 3 Premier League games: Fulham, Luton, and Everton. That has to be 9 points.
Yeah, they can't lose. They've got to win 2 at least, and not.
Oh, it has to be 9. But you're not. Yeah. You can't. Fulham have been diabolical this season.
Yeah,
they've got a good.
Fulham aren't as good as they were last.
Yeah, and they haven't got a striker. I know it's away maybe, but Luton and Everton has to be 6 points. Has to be, and that will maybe put them on a run until the international break. But then again, as soon as they play a decent team, they lose.
Yeah, it's almost obviously at the minute they can't buy anyone, they can't get rid of it. But it's like you said, the football they're playing. What are they doing? They has to improve quickly, but that's obviously such an arse. It's not going to suddenly change overnight, and they're going to be passing around like prime Barcelona or defending like Mourinho's Chelsea. It's a lot. It's a lot to ask. But like you said, doesn't seem like there's real guidance or there's a real aim or purpose to what they're doing at the minute.
And we'll touch on it quickly, and just I think on the last point, there's always talk when United lose the Glazers, and that. And I do get some of the arguments that if you're going into work and it's a rotten environment, it can trickle down to the players and that. But I do think it's time the players take responsibility.
Yeah, they've got to.
For what they're doing. And Carragher made a good point about what the players out there, Fernandes and that, they cannot care on a Tuesday when they're training against Man United. What is going on in that boardroom when the Glazers cannot affect them? Sir Jim Ratcliffe comes in, they're all of a sudden going to start training harder and running that extra yard. Is Anthony going to stop being a twat and gain an extra yard of pace?
It can't affect Højlund. It can't affect Onana that's just come in. Like Sergio Reguilon, I know it's almost laughable he's playing for them, but how can he can't be affected by it?
But that's it. You just named a player that's why on earth is he playing for Manchester United?
Ridiculous.
He came on at Manchester Derby, left back. Why didn't he start with? But
why bring? It's. I mean, I'm not a United fan, so for me, I have no.
Used to be though, didn't you?
Yeah, when I was a little boy, but it's just the fact Reguilon is playing for them is laughable. Evans is
Well, even Eriksen to an extent, you sold him a couple of years ago because you didn't want he didn't want to be there and you wanted to upgrade in that position and.
Yeah, they're a mess, and I can't imagine how it is to be a United fan.
Right.
But on the other hand, Man City are obviously unbelievable, and
they're just a joke.
They just continue chugging along.
Yep, they will do. They will do indeed.
And Bournemouth at home for Pep. So what? 8, 9?
Is that on Saturday?
That's the next game. Yeah. So
one of my takes this season, I think the record could be broken in terms of goal. I think there could be a 10-0 this season.
That could be Luton. You'd think
because my reasoning was because of this new additional time.
Yeah, and even Sheffield United.
I quickly tell Arsenal were 5-0 up against Sheffield United, and they still added on 10 minutes.
Yeah,
like 2 or 3. There was quite easily 10 minutes of stoppage times because of the VAR decisions and whatnot, and the penalty checks and all that stuff. And there were 4 goals and 12 subs and that. Yeah, there was a lot of stoppages. But there's no need, mate.
No.
There's no need for that game to go to the 100th minute. You're 5-0 up.
Just let Sheffield get home and crack on.
But right, shall we turn our attention to the bottom half?
Yes. Yeah, let's do it.
So, I've got a little screenshot here of the bottom 6 teams. I'm going to read them out. Sheffield United, Burnley, Luton, Bournemouth, Forest, Everton.
That's the order, isn't it?
Yeah.
Read that bottom top.
Fulham. Are you keeping Fulham out of it?
I would. Yeah, like that list is what I'd say. Everton firmly in it, and who is it below them? Bournemouth. No, Forest.
Yeah.
Yeah, those two definitely, and then the bottom 4. Yeah, they're right in it.
So we also have the live bookies odds here. Sheffield United odds on favourite to go down, shortly followed by Luton. Burnley are third, and then it's Bournemouth and Everton at similar odds, with Forest out at 6-1 to go down.
Only 5 wins between all 5 of those teams. All 5 excluding Everton. 5. Sheffield United, Burnley, Luton, Bournemouth, and Forest. Only 5 wins, and Sheffield United the only team obviously not to win a league game this year.
Oh yeah, but Sheffield. Let's start from the bottom, work our way up. We said on the opening pod that we think that one of these teams that got promoted could break the record.
Yeah, they could be awful.
Could break Derby County's record of 11 points, was it? Or,
I think so.
Or 9 or 11. They won one game. I know they won one game against Newcastle. Sheffield United, 10 games, 0 wins, 1 draw against Everton. 9 losses, minus 22 goal difference. Burnley, 1 win, 1 draw.
Yeah, and I think for Burnley, the Bournemouth game is a perfect example of them being right involved. Because I've said it, and even other people have said it, but they had really tough teams. They had some very good teams in at the start, and they were losing obviously. But yeah, I think they're totally in limbo of what they're trying to do and what they're trying to achieve. But yeah, that's a prime example of them right in it. And
Burnley's only win was against Luton, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Luton's 1 win was against Everton, wasn't it? So they're beating the teams. And Bournemouth's 1 win was against Burnley, and they're the bottom 4. Yeah. Forest for me are struggling a little bit. I thought they would have picked up a few more points.
Yeah,
than they had.
They're one of those like silent ones. No one's really obviously they played Liverpool at the weekend. What do you expect?
Have you seen Salah's goal?
I think I watched it earlier on actually.
Of Matt Turner.
Yeah, what a donut.
And people wondered why we signed Raya.
But then Forest and Everton are a similar situation. They don't really score a lot, but they also haven't really. They've conceded a fair amount of goals, but nothing compared to those below them. And I think they've even conceded less than like Wolves, who are higher up the table, and some other sides. So they just obviously struggle to put the ball in the net. Talking
of goals, there is one man I think, if he's fit, will keep Everton out of this relegation zone, and that's Calvert-Lewin. I don't think he's
good goal at the weekend, wasn't it?
Top draw, like it's in top draw, but he's very. I thought there was that lockdown season when he scored. Was it 20 goals, 22 Premier League goals, something like that? And I was like, I like him. I would like him at Arsenal. And then since then, he's had a couple of injuries and he's never hit that form again.
No, I probably like the idea more of. I like more of the idea more of having Calvert-Lewin than him actually performing and being that good of a player. But yeah, you'd like to think that surely he has the quality to bag a few more goals and get some wins for Everton and definitely keep them up.
Because not one of them teams down there has a player of that quality as a number 9.
No.
And he scored his 50th Premier League goal at the weekend. Yeah, it's like you just said, great goal against West Ham, and what a result that is.
Yeah, perfect game for them. They were more than happy. I think West Ham fans are very, very distressed with what's going on, and I think I had plenty of bad words to say about Moyes and their team over the weekend.
Yeah, booze at full time.
Yeah, they weren't happy. I don't think they are happy, shall I say.
Which I thought was a bit. I mean, I haven't actually kept a close eye on West Ham, to be honest, this season, but I did think a booing at half. But apparently that's the 3rd game on the trot they've lost in all comps.
Yeah, they've won one of their last 6 games, 1 draw, 4 losses before yesterday.
London derby, 2 London derbies this week for them. Arsenal Wednesday, and Brentford on Saturday. I'm interested to know what sort of team they'll put out on Wednesday.
Arsenal will rotate, but they probably can't really afford to. Like their squad is. Yeah.
Arsenal will make 8, 9 changes. I still think we'll put out a good side. I don't know. Fabianski will come in. I'm trying to think who else they have. Danny Ings probably will start. Maybe.
I'll be surprised actually because how does the bookings work? Because Paqueta's banned for the weekend.
No,
and
he's booked for the Premier League game.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So they might even
Yeah,
play the
yeah.
strong side.
He's banned. Who was the other one that got banned?
Alvarez.
Yeah, the two
Yeah.
best players.
That's what I'm saying. So they might actually just play
Excuse me.
a solid side tomorrow night,
Yeah.
or whenever, Wednesday night. Sorry, knowing that obviously those are going to miss out on a weekend. But yeah, I think there's definitely a few of our friends and listeners of the show that are very unhappy with Moyes at the minute, and there's suddenly that sort of call for him to go is getting stronger.
But who?
And a lot of them are saying Potter. A lot of them want Graham Potter. Whether that would happen or not, I don't know. But
Yeah, I get that.
I just think
get that.
they want something fresh. They want something.
Just
something
talking out
new.
loud
And
with
go on.
Potter, is he better off waiting till the summer and getting the England job? Do you think he'd
But
get it?
it's probably if that's. I mean, he probably doesn't know. Or he may know. But if that's an option, he probably is thinking those thoughts. Does he want to go? Yeah, to a West Ham side. But then don't know. It's a different as a manager. Do you want to say club football, international football, and it's probably a massive challenge to essentially change West Ham and make them. Don't know, make a feel good factor around West Ham again. But yeah, I think a lot of the West Ham fans just want something different, something new, and obviously last season winning the Conference League was unbelievable for them, and they'll probably they'll never ever forget that. And Moyes will always have that. But yeah, I think they're fed up with their tactics and what they're trying to achieve.
They sit 9th in the table, 10 games in, 14 points. They're 3 points off a European place, 3 points off Newcastle, 3 points off Brighton, point below Man United.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
I don't really.
No, it's not. And they definitely would say this, and it's not. They think they should be winning every game, but it's more. Essentially, it's very similar in the sense that what happened to Spurs in last season with Conte. It was dreadful football, and West Ham feel like they're going. With Moyes, it's dreadful football in their eyes, and they want to see something different. But yeah, I'm not sure. And they 9th, and they won't go down. They'll be comfortable, and they'll be possibly challenging for the lower European spots. But yeah, but also that result is typical West Ham. They got Brentford away this weekend. They might even get a result there, but when they play Tottenham, Arsenal, whoever, they'll turn up and may get a win and get a good result. But yeah, they lose games at home to teams like Everton.
I don't want to sound condescending here, but that's one of the struggles you get when you haven't got a big squad. When you're playing Thursday night away at Olympiacos, which is Arsenal have played there enough times. It's pretty tough to go there. Yeah, they're a proper European club. So like we said, they're one of them European clubs that you think you can beat. At home, you steamroll them, but away it's just difficult, innit? It's like a Sevilla, the Champions, Sevilla, the Europa League, or.
It's just
And I'm trying to think of another example.
English sides in Europe, their record's probably shocking, but yeah, that's a prime example of them. Just alright, they lost, but they're fine in the group. And then they'll advance through.
You've got to play that Thursday night away, and then you've got to get them same players to get back from Greece, back to playing Sunday against Everton, who've had a whole week to prepare for this game. Everton fight every game for their lives because they want to stay up and they need to stay up. And Everton, on the other hand, have had a tough week with, unfortunately, their chairman passing away. And all those rumours about getting a potential 12-point deduction.
That's the only thing we ever. If that happens, they are stuffed. If they get a point deduction of 10, 12 points, they are really, really in bother.
Well, going into the beginning of the season, we both had Luton and Sheffield United down.
I said, I had Luton, Sheffield United, Forest.
And my third one was Wolves.
Wolves look
I've been very surprised by Wolves. Gary O'Neill really took them and run with them, really.
Especially against the big sides, they've done well.
Neto
really
and
well.
Wang have been unbelievable. Especially
that goal he scored.
Neto will get all the credit, but Wang, he's got like 6 Premier League goals already.
That goal he scored, he cut back with a weak foot, didn't he? He slotted it away.
I'm not going to change my my prediction, but I don't think Wolves go down anymore. I think it's 4. It's 3 out of 4.
Yeah,
and you can see from the table, Sheffield United 1 point, Burnley 4, Luton 5, Bournemouth 6, and then already there's a tiny bit of a gap. Forest and Everton on 10 points, Fulham on 11.
Yeah, I think Everton again will just stay clear purely on the basis of the teams below them, and maybe Forest might even finish above them. But yeah, I think the current bottom 4 is when they all fight each other, that will be the decider. But and maybe Bournemouth might get away with it because those three sides are absolutely awful at the minute.
Because I actually thought if Bournemouth had lost the weekend, Areola would have been sacked. Because the owners came in, didn't they, for the big game?
There's rumours suddenly going around about that, wasn't there?
I thought he would have go. They've been awful. You can't bring a new manager in. They would have been sitting on 3 points. They'd have been second from bottom.
Yeah, it was Bournemouth's first win of the season. Obviously, Areola's first Premier League win.
It would have been.
Yeah, it was a proper scrap, wasn't it? It was just proper poor sides going at it.
Because just looking out them teams down there, I don't think Sheffield United, whatever Sheffield United do this season, I don't think they'll sack the manager. What's the point?
Yeah.
And if they were going to sack him, they would have sacked him after losing 8-0.
Yeah, agreed. Similar situation to Forest, like Steve Cooper, like last season when it was all and ahhing. Just no, there's no need.
Burnley, I think they've invested too much into Company to sack him. I also think it's very harsh considering his season last year. I know he's probably being a bit naive this season and needs to alter something. What that altering is, I don't know. I'm not a Premier League manager. He needs to figure that out for himself. Luton, there's literally no point in sacking him because but you can't sack the bloke that's brought you into the Premier League after he needs to stay the whole season. Bournemouth, I think he is sackable because there's no ties to the club. I think they're looking at Gary O'Neill and thinking, have we cocked up here?
Yeah, he could have.
And there's managers out there.
Not enjoying, but he was up for the challenge and he was focused on Bournemouth, and then basically they just fobbed him off. So yeah, he has every right.
And like you just mentioned, Steve Cooper's fine, and Sean Dyche, if they sack him, then I think he's the only reason I had them just about staying out of it. But
although I thought Burnley, saying all that, Burnley were very unfortunate at the weekend. Some of the, again, we talk about them, can't be bothered to talk about them, the refs, but the VAR. I don't know what was the. So the offside, was a total mess anyway.
So they gave it on, and then they looked at it again, and they realised they'd drawn the lines in the wrong place. And you actually see how far they're drawn them wrong as well. They're like drawn it over like Rodriguez's head.
Yeah, like across his, like the green line was through his chest. And
can you imagine if they did a Spurs and went goal given?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's just a mess, and then they didn't even look at the handball, did they? And how's it not handball? The defender, Chris Mepham for Bournemouth was like holding onto Sandberg's shirt from the get go. Like, so he didn't. I said if he pushed his arm away, but he didn't. He just held on shirt. Basically caught the ball, and then I don't know how Sandberg's missed the goal anyway. But it's definitely should be a penalty. But they're saying all that. Yeah, very very unfortunate with some of the decisions. And again, that lack of decision is massive. That could be a penalty. They could have scored. They could have got a point away at Bournemouth.
And two massive games. Lastly, two massive games. You think you can write off City, Bournemouth, write that off.
Yeah.
Luton, Liverpool, write that off.
Yeah.
Even to an extent, Forest, Villa. Never know. Forest have a very good record at home.
Yeah.
But Burnley versus Palace. Palace look shot with no.
Elise or Eze.
No, Elise or Eze. They're a 12th place even with them. They're probably like a 14th place without them.
Yeah.
Like you saw firsthand on Friday. Yeah. They can cause you a couple of problems, putting some crosses in, and they look a bit dangerous at home.
But all I thought,
they huff and puff, but their huff and puff is pathetic.
Yeah, with Friday's game, that if you could see that if they had an Elise or Eze on the break and counter, and when the ball suddenly fall to them, and they'd probably look more dangerous, and you'd be more concerned. They come off a big defeat at Newcastle, and basically Friday night we're like, right, we are not trying not concede, and we're just going to defend, and. Yeah, they're a pretty poor side.
I put Palace in that category with a few other teams of Everton. I'd say they're first goal teams. If you get the first goal against them, you're sound because they aren't scoring two.
No, and that's what Arsenal did very well against Sheffield United. That again, a clear example is what happened to us against Sheffield United. You score sort of semi early on, game opens up, you're at home. Their whole idea is, right, we don't concede. We try and push late on, maybe 20 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago, we look forward. But, Arsenal is exactly that performance is what all the so-called big sides want against the Sheffield United, Luton, but
helps when you've got a world-class number 9.
Of course, yeah.
And then Sheffield United versus Wolves, massive game.
Yeah.
Massive game.
Yeah.
But, shall we move on to Team of the Week?
Yeah, let's do it.
Right, so I'll start with the goalkeeper. We've gone for Ederson. of Manchester United.
Man City.
Ooh. Of Manchester City, yes. Didn't have too much to do, but I really like that big save made at that really important time.
Good.
His kicking all game was just a joke. Onana, you see, he's been brought in to sort of replicate that sort of style, but Edison, I think, is the best at it. Maybe not the best goalkeeper in the league, I think Alisson is, but his kicking is just... He's so laid back and just left boot, leans back, pings any player he wants. And he came out and claimed some great crosses all round. Just another good performance. And keep clean sheet, another clean sheet at Old Trafford.
Yeah, very good.
He was my goalkeeper of choice this week.
And first defender, I'm going to go for Braithwaite of Everton. Just to, again, sort of could have been a very, very tough away game at West Ham with dealing with Antonio, but he's come in. I think him and Tarkowski have started last few games together, building some sort of relationship, and he looks quite good. Sort of a younger player, very inexperienced, but he's tall. He's quite physical. He's got a bit of pace. Left footed, plays on the left side, but he was good. Nice clean sheet for Everton.
Spent last year on loan at my club, PSV. Yeah, did a year, and funnily enough for Jared Braithwaite, when me and my dad went to Everton Luton a couple of weeks ago, the Everton fan sat next to us, tapped my dad on the shoulder and went, "See him? England captain in 5 years."
Why? What was your dad like slating him or something?
No, he just we think it was just literally back to that kick-off, and he was like, "See him? England captain 5 years."
He's good, but maybe not that good.
And our second defender, Ethan Pinnock. I mean, we've gone the whole episode about talking about Brentford and Chelsea, but that just shows what happened this week. And I don't want to sound horrible, but it's not really a upset anymore, is it? They won their last 3 games. Have you seen Thomas Frank has won more games at Chelsea, at Stamford Bridge in this calendar year than any Chelsea manager has?
Than Lampard and Poch. They won. I can't believe it. 3 in a row. 4-1, 2-0, 2-0.
Scored the goal. Well, he defended very, very well, first and foremost in the first half and second half. And then Brentford grew into the game, and Mbembo's dinked the back post, and he just bullied Colwell out the way. Take that. I had it in 1-0. Kept a clean sheet, 1-2-0 away at the Bridge. Fantastic. You're in the team.
Yep, very good. Do you want to take the first midfielder? I'll get the...
Yes, my mate, Brian Mbembo, scored and got an assist in a win like we just touched on against Chelsea. Do you see his goal when the breakaway happened? the goalkeeper comes up.
Yeah.
Absolute clown.
It's poor.
Mopé running through, plays an open goal, and Mbembo scores. And I think he's just such a good player. I think he's really, really underrated. And he scored 6-7 goals now this season. Back-to-back goals again. And no, I was adamant he was getting in this team. And we'll move on to the vote this week.
So the other midfielder, we put the vote up between McGinn, who got a goal in Villa's 3-1 win at home.
Great goal as well, wasn't it?
Yeah. And then we also went for Szoboszlai of Liverpool, 2 assists, I think, in their 3-0 win over Forest. And I'm looking now, it's actually, like Tate said before, very, very close, this vote. 54% in favour of Szoboszlai. So
it was McGinn before we started.
Yeah, it was. And then I just looked, it was 50-50, and then someone's obviously just changed their vote or picked another one, and Szoboszlai gets in, 2 assists, New signing for Liverpool. I think he started quite well there, and he looks like a bit of a player.
Dominic Szoboszlai's in. Right.
Do you want to take this away? No, you waited all night for this.
The striker. It's a tough choice, this. Can only be one man. Eddie Nketiah. First Premier League hat-trick. 3 great goals. Won't go too much into it because I'm going to talk about him in a bit. But no.
Did you hear that? I think it was on match day, but the penalty, if he'd have scored 4, he'd only Henry and someone else had scored. Arshavin had scored 4 goals for Arsenal. What a massive opportunity that would have been.
He's team player, like you said. He had the captain's armband on, scoring hat-tricks.
Yeah.
Iconic.
It was only Sheffield United, though, wasn't it?
You only score against who you're playing against.
No, he was. The third goal was
Lovely stuff. Right, prediction time. Is it my turn this week, I think?
Your turn to pick.
It was Sunderland Norwich last week. If I could get my phone out of my pocket, that would help. Right.
Won, didn't they?
Let's have a look. Sunderland won 2-1, yeah.
2-1 or 3-1?
2-1. I said no, they won 3-1. Yeah, sorry, 3-1.
You said 2-1. I said
Yeah.
2-2, and it was 3-1.
Saturday. Let's have a look. Oh, here we go. We're going to return to the Bundesliga, and it's the Bundesliga's El Clasico, whatever that is in German.
I don't want to attempt that.
Borussia Dortmund versus Bayern Munich, 5:30 kickoff.
I'm going to go 3-2 Bayern Munich.
You're going to go 3-2 Bayern. They lost at the weekend, Dortmund. Bayern certainly didn't lose.
No. Harry Kane only scores penalties.
And conversions.
Or from the halfway line.
That was like a NFL. It was like a. I can. It might sound a bit cringe, but that was basically like a golf shot, wasn't it? That was literally a pitching wedge, just straight.
Not like anything like my pitching wedges, but yeah. Harry Kane joke.
I'll go for 1-2 Bayern. They'll win 2-1.
Nice.
Winner of the week.
Do you want to carry on yours or?
So my winner of the week is Edward Kedia Nketiah. It could only be one man. Scoring a hat trick, first Premier League hat trick, like I mentioned, second Arsenal hat trick though. I'm lost for words, mate. I'm lost. No, I was so happy for that. I was so happy for. I want to call him a kid. He's like 20. He's 24. Lovely first goal. Rubbish defending by mine, but lovely touch into the past the goalkeeper. Second one, keeper spills it, and that's what he's good at. Keeper spills it. The old classic fox in the box, bang. And then the third goal, icing on the cake. He doesn't take that shot. I don't think I've ever seen him take a shot outside the box against. He's never scored outside the box before, and gets the ball from Smith Rowe, takes a touch, and thinks, looks at that corner, have a bit of that, puts it there, runs the crowd. Oh, lovely! It's just a nice moment for one of your own. One of your own to take the match ball home.
Yeah, very good hat trick. Can't argue with that. My winner of the week is actually, I mentioned him before as a loser of the week, and I've probably mentioned him a few times, but Steve Lee, my mate Steve Lee, he over the weekend he ran the Indianapolis Marathon in 3 hours and 55 minutes. Sorry, he's out in America for a couple of months and has managed to squeeze in a marathon whilst out there. I spoke to him and sort of paraphrasing what he said, but he said if some ginger can give it beans through Africa for 200 days, then I can run around here for 26 miles. So yeah, congratulations, Steve. He said he had talking oil on as well, so I'm sure that really picked up the pace when we were having it in his ear. But yeah, well done, mate. And yeah, I think you need to get home quick because Camberley Town are missing their captain, leader, and legend.
Brilliant. He's the second person to run a marathon and listen to talking oil. My brother did the same.
Quite a theme.
Excuse me. So, my loser of the week this week is Ajax Football Club.
Nice.
I'm here sat wearing my PSV jersey. And Ajax dropped to the bottom of the Eredivisie table this weekend after they lost 5-2 to rivals PSV. Having lost their last 5 Eredivisie games for the first time ever in their history, Ajax are bottom of the league with 5 points. On Monday, they just sacked their manager before they lost 2-0 to Brighton in the Europa League on Thursday. And in stark contrast to rivals PSV, who are top of the league with 30 points from 10 games, winning all 10. Ajax are having a stinker.
Very good, very good. I didn't know who you'd pick this week, but my loser of the week, I was wondering if you were going to pick the same as me, but I've gone for Wayne Rooney. He's lost his third game in charge of Birmingham City away at Southampton. They've played Borough away. Yeah, Borough away. They lost. Hull at home. They lost. Of course, they lost up the Tigers. And Southampton.
Of course they lost.
First 3 games all lost. Got a terrible reception and reaction following the home game against Hull, and then obviously lost again at the weekend to become Birmingham's first manager to lose their first 3 in charge. And yeah, their change of owners, they've gone for a different approach, to sort of bring in the big names and the star-studded names and all the rest of it. But yeah, loser of the week, Wayne Rooney losing 3 in a row as Birmingham manager.
and his wife's documentary just come out on Disney Plus. So.
Plug.
Right. Eddie Nketiah scored the 374th Premier League hat-trick on Saturday versus Sheffield United. But who scored the first?
Oh, I'm going to probably embarrass myself here. Shearer?
No, a good guess though.
Not a terrible guess. I'll have one more guess because I wouldn't know. Hang on, let me have one more guess, and then you give me a
I'll give you a clue, yeah.
Shearer, no. Ian Wright?
No. The clue I'm going to give you is he played for Manchester United, but didn't score
A hat-trick for them.
Manchester United.
Dwight York?
No.
Was it his mate, Andy Cole?
No.
I don't know. I'm going to keep on.
Eric Cantona
Oh, okay.
scored, ironically, if he played for Leeds, didn't he? That's what they signed him from.
Yeah.
Leeds versus Tottenham in a 5-0 win on the 25th of August, 1992.
Oh, yeah. I'd be here all night. Never get that. Good question. Good
I
knowledge.
didn't realise there was that many hat-tricks in the Premier League. I was scrolling down for a while. I was just trying to find like an easy number, and there was like loads.
Yeah, no, good.
Because I know we had a question. We had a teaser last year. Who got the most? I think it was Aguero.
Yeah,
I think.
probably. Yeah.
And yeah, that was it.
Nice.
Right, we'll be back again we'll be back on Sunday,
Yeah.
won't we? Because we're going Spurs.
Yeah, Monday night next week, and you're going Arsenal Wednesday.
Going West Ham, Arsenal Wednesday. I am looking forward to
a win, or do you want to win, but
no, I want to win because it annoys me that we haven't won that competition in my lifetime. It really irritates me that. I don't know. It'll be tough. It'll be tougher than the Brentford game because I think West Ham will pick a stronger team. I'm picturing Ramsdale, Zinchenko, Kivior, Gabriel, White, Jorginho will play.
Cedric
Vieira. Oh.
He could play, shouldn't he? Surely.
He could. He shouldn't. He could. He'd probably be on the bench. Vieira, Smith Rowe, Havertz, Trossard, Eddie, and Nelson. I think that'll be our team, which is still a pretty decent team.
Yeah, you should.
But West Ham, I don't know.
Change theirs slightly.
But like I said, if because
good enough.
Alvarez and Paqueta are suspended for the week,
play.
they might play, and yeah, you never know. You never know. It'll be interesting though. But yeah, we're back on Sunday.
Yeah, same again. Sunday. Nice weekend of football. Well, week of football ahead of us.
No, it's good to be back. Right, thank you again all for listening, and stay loyal.
Stay loyal.